You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive.
Okay, here we
Wow,
go.
so we've got a fancy new setup, don't we?
Yes, look at us.
All right, we're just
Us,
hitting the big leagues.
we've gone visual.
Visual, we've got some audio going. We'll see what happens.
That's right.
right?
You've heard the beautiful
The leather.
voices we have now.
Now you can see
the
these
gorgeous
that we speak.
That's right. The gorgeous vessels that those voices come from.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome.
Woo-wee.
All right. Well, let's
Hello.
start off with a
Hi,
good
Moss.
cheers. Salute,
yeah.
buddy.
Salute. How are you?
I'm pretty sad, dude. I'm pretty sad. Yeah, we lost a really important member of the team yesterday. I don't know if you noticed. It was a member that's helped us with all these amazing pitches, and definitely aided to get us a ton of work. And I'm talking about Rico.
What?
Our printer. As you know, we had to say goodbye to our kick-ass laser printer.
What the fuck? Who quit? Wait a minute.
It's true. And again, that printer, let me tell you, that printer has been around forever. It's been like 15 years, right? And back then, when we first invested in it, it was like the cost of a car. Well, a small car. Like
a small
car.
A little
Castiva or something. But it used to, the pitches we used to do, and it would print out on heavy stock, so we would do awesome presentation.
Yes.
Honestly, that thing, it's been so good, it's so reliable, but it's now to the point where it was so gone.
Well, you had your cousin in here, and he was kind of part-time designer, part-time repairman.
Guy. It got to the point
it was
where
just like,
it wasn't.
it
was sad.
It wasn't happening,
sad, right? Because it was kind of. Okay, number one is nostalgic.
Yes,
right. It was really cool.
Yeah,
but
it was a great printer.
It's a great printer, and we use that thing all the time.
Yeah.
Even though it was mostly now for proofs and shit. Like even though it's a digital world, we're constantly using it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. You still need. There's something about that hard copy.
That
proofing or whatever,
not even colors.
Because
again, that's
absolutely.
That's what we're here to talk about today. Of course, the topic today is, of course, CMYK versus RGB, right? And that printer, just like all printers, print in CMYK.
Yes,
but now we're in a digital world, right? So people overlook that.
Yes.
But how many times does that thing come in handy? And people have no idea what to do, where to go.
Yeah.
Like if it's it looked good on screen, why is it printing like shit? Like this is the kind of stuff where it's like they're not really teaching this in schools.
No.
And online, you have to kind of dig, and they give examples of all this. So, again, people take it for granted.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's true.
It's an art form.
It is. It really is. It really is. A lost art form, would you say? Or
Well, there's that whole argument that is newsprint dead?
Right.
And that's one of our interview questions. We ask everybody is newsprint dead? So that's a topic on its
really?
own. Yeah,
that's
always.
Cool.
Yeah. You didn't have to worry about that. Geez, I don't even think we had paper when we interviewed you, but
yeah, it was just the chisel and stone. Cave drawings, that kind of thing. That's how I made my bones.
But it's true though, right? Like
yes.
It's like it was a time, and when we started this company, 23 years ago, print was 90% of the world, 95. You could even argue 99 back then, because back then, nothing. We were using computers on a good note. Yeah. We were on Macs, yes. But everything was print first, 100%, because the world was still print.
Right.
Like literally, you would check your email once a day.
Yeah.
Back then, you would unplug that fax machine and plug it into your modem and check. And it was a good day if you got an email, and it was often like spam or maybe really early crude porn pictures. You're like, oops, that happens if I give them my name. Right, internet was created for porn. Apparently,
it really was. Yes, that's right. Porn, and then those forward this on to 10 people. Otherwise, bad luck will come to you. Right.
Right. And social media is all about the memes.
Yeah.
See, see how it all works.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's people. It's okay. So here now we've got our list here up on the wall. So that's cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think the challenge, of course, with nowadays is that when brands want you to match their colors,
yes,
right, or they want to be consistent,
yeah.
if you don't have that knowledge of being able to transfer RGB images, files, resources into CMYK print, it really will affect the brand.
Yeah,
and I mean that's when you see, and even more so, people now they neglect CMYK, they neglect print, and they choose. Like right now, the trend is all these really vibrant, web colors, which is great on screen.
Looks awesome for
man. Does it fuck you over?
If you try to match that shit. Oh my god! Dude. Oh, we've got a trade show coming up. It's like this really hot blue.
Right. What the fuck? How do you do that? Right?
How do you make that color? It doesn't work.
No, it does. And this has been screwing us over time and time again. Right? Seriously, it's and again, it's hard to pick up trends, but then people neglect the full breadth of what a project actually should entail. Yeah. And I think that's the challenge. That's the challenge that we're feeling. That's a challenge that the designers nowadays are they're not realizing. It's a challenge. Is it a challenge? It's not. I mean, they're neglecting it.
Yes.
But again, they're not looking at the full set of deliverables that they have to deliver.
Yes. Exactly.
So they're doing a disservice to the customer in that sense, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So let's start right from the basics. For anybody who doesn't exactly understand what the hell we're talking about, right?
Yes.
So we've got RGB, we've got CMYK, right? We've got Spot, and then we've got hex, right? And they all stand for different things. So RGB is red, green, blue, right? And that's anything digital, right? Anything digital is made up. Every color you see on a digital monitor is made up in either red, green, or blue, straight up. And I mean, that's fine. That will make up everything. Those hot, vibrant, crazy ass colors or whatever, right? So anything digital, and that's your computer screen, that's your mobile phone, that's like literally tablets, anything digital, even freaking watches, right? Like even though they're LEDs, you zoom in, it's comprised of those three, right? So that's RGB.
Yeah.
Now, print is CMYK, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, black, right? Yep. And those are the colors that make up almost all of the colors that people see in print, okay? And they're limited though. So even though there's 4 colors, they still can't reproduce everything that digital has for a whole bunch of different reasons based on materials and substrates, but even like intensity. Like, believe it or not, some of the printers even had CMYK, but then they had cyan high, cyan low, magenta high. They would start, just because again, the demand for people which is a real pain in the ass, right? To say the least. And it's too bad. Poor CMYK just can't do everything that RGB can. So it really sucks. However, an RGB file, which is red, green, and blue, won't translate directly to a CMYK file.
This is true.
And that's the problem. Yeah. That's what people aren't getting. And again, they're just digital first. But the time is going to come where somebody might need a flyer, might need a billboard, might need some other form of printed, and it's just they won't be able to match that shit.
Yep.
So we're in a B2B world. Yep. So there's trade shows are coming back with a vengeance, as well as marketing, printed material, sales material. That shit's coming back.
Yep.
And right now we're struggling because some of our clients have got these brand digital colors, and it's almost impossible to match without going this next step, right? So now you've got RGB, you've got CMYK, then you've got Spot, right? Spot is like a single shot of color, right? Most commonly known as like a Pantone. People will be like a Pantone color, right? So spot colors are individually processed. They're mixed just for that just for that right color, right? So that's how people can get those vibrant shades.
Yes,
but it's at a premium price.
Yeah, I was just gonna say you CMYK, and then you add another color on top of that. Your costs,
and then
your costs are gonna go.
You had a filter, or not a filter, a spot gloss or a matte laminate.
Oh, geez.
Oh man, your print file can end up being 6, 7, 8 layers thick, right? And you can take a very thin stock and end up with something heavy, just because you keep layering and layering and layering.
Yeah.
So that's what the spot color is. So that's how, unfortunately, if people are trying to match their digital too closely, they've got to invest. They've got to pay that extra.
Yeah.
And even then, although Pantone selectors, you got tons of colors, thousands of colors in there, it still might not get that color, right? So you might need a shimmer effect or this. So again, it just starts getting more and more difficult. Yeah. And then you've got hex, right? And hex code, I don't want to say it's similar to Spot, but what it is, it's basically the code version of RGB, right? Of the values of RGB,
Oh,
right?
right.
So
Okay.
you can be like, no, I want hex code number 00432. And it's basically, these values in RGB, but in a single format. And that's actually really common for people to share, right? So right now, I mean, we're sharing all those colors with our customers and their brand guides,
Big
right?
time.
So we're giving customers all the different variations, right? We're giving them their RGB equivalents, their CMYK, we're giving them Spot if we need to, right? But the challenge, of course, is, when we have to try to match the existing colors that people bring to us, right? And that gets hard because that's not so easy to do.
It's not easy at all. And the funny thing too is, like, you can't even rely on an online version of these kind of things
Absolutely.
for conversion, because it's just like you key it in and you're like, the fuck, that's not even close.
It's totally different, right? It's
You're gonna make me go through this book.
And certain colors are a pain in the ass to deal with, like
blue,
greens.
yes.
Greens, you can't get intense; it looks muddy, right? Or people try to do like yellow. Usually looks like baby diarrhea.
Oh yes. Oh geez.
Yeah, it is a pain in that sense. So again, I'm all for this whole, digital first. I totally get this whole digital first thing that everybody keeps talking about and why it's important and stuff.
Yeah.
However, I think, digital first doesn't necessarily mean ignore everybody else.
Yes.
It should actually be like you should embrace this whole people first,
Oh,
right? Like, I mean, think of the or client first or
Yeah.
outcome first. But I mean, don't just jump to a digital solution.
Yes.
Because every industry, so we're B2B, we're strong into B2B. So our customers very much are doing trade shows. They need sell sheets, sadly.
Yep.
And this has nothing to do with, aren't you in the times? Like, it has nothing to do with that. It's just how people sell. I mean, you go into a car shop, you're still going to pick up a brochure if you want to go look at a brand new car. You're going to motorcycle shop, same thing. You're still going to you want to walk away with something print.
Yep,
Right?
totally.
So again, regardless how big or small, you got to think of what that customer, what their end goal is, how they use stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's the challenge. And nobody does that. So this isn't no digital first bullshit. This should be like application first. How the hell this is going to actually get used.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
That makes total sense. Yeah. You don't want to any kind of exclusion. You want to make sure you've got all your bases covered.
Absolutely.
While you're doing this kind of thing. So
and
don't
if anything,
just ignore it because it's difficult.
It's gonna make you probably come across as knowing more, right? Like, imagine if you actually sit down with a customer and you start asking them the right questions, not just like, oh, what do you want your logo to look like? What kind of animal represents your company? No, like, I mean, you start asking them about their business. How do you get business? What marketing tools do you actually use to get business? Do you do trade shows? Do you use signage? Do you ever hand out flyers internally, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are the questions that need to be asked.
Yeah.
Because honestly, nothing would suck more. Okay, and you tell me how you feel about this. You see a fast food place, you see like a new little eatery, you're like, cool, right? It looks great. You go in there, and afterwards, their menu looks like it's printed in the back. Completely different colors than their brand, and it looks right.
That kind of
Like,
thing.
it's just all of a sudden it's like, oh, I was let down a little bit.
This
right?
is really not very classy.
Maybe because we're designers, but I think everybody's that way.
I totally would agree with you on that one. It reflects poorly on. I mean, if your quality food, that's what your thing is, right? And then you chintz out on all the print on the menu, it just makes you look cheap, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's gonna reflect badly on you.
So honestly, there is a lot of considerations, especially RGB versus CMYK, that people need to remember when they're pulling this shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously colors, right?
Yep.
One, RGB is backlit, right? It's always got like lights pushing through it, right? Phone, watch, screen, right? Where CMYK print is, often it's front lit, if you want to call it that, but it's basically it's like ambience. It's whatever's around.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not going to be as vibrant. It's not going to have that punch of color to it.
This is true.
So you got to think about that, right?
Yeah.
Senses, so RGB or digital, right? Let's not break this to RGB versus CMYK. Let's just go digital versus print, right? So digital senses, right? You've got motion, you've got colors, right? Which is fine. But then print, you still got colors, but you've also got other senses like texture.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Sometimes smell.
Yeah.
Right? Depending, I mean, again, how great is it when you pick up a book or pick up a magazine and you
Fresh.
get that? Oh, dude.
I love that.
Getting that? A freshman?
Love
Oh,
that.
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Totally.
I know.
UX, right? So again, digital can actually be interactive. It can have a little bit more emotion, right? Where print, again, going back to that senses thing, can still bring in other feelings, other hidden, I don't even know how to talk about this, but like it brings back something that, like that smell. We just kind of both laughed about that smell.
Yes, but I love that.
Oh, totally, right?
So again, it's good. That kind of, it's exactly like you said. It's like that tangible. You open up a magazine and you can smell it, and it's just like
that's
it's a great
the user experience, right?
Exactly.
And that's the difference. And same with brochure. You're literally opening that bad boy, although they're just kind of funny. Oh, dude, today one of our team was like, she sent me something to proof, and she's like, "Oh, it's a bifold brochure," and I'm like, "So does that mean it opens both ways?" Right? Bifold. Needless to say, she did have a good laugh over that. Who knew bifold brochures could be open both ways?
That's awesome.
It was brutal. I don't know where that came from. I'm surprised she still works for us after that comment.
Ooh, the bifold. Boy, that means a completely different thing nowadays than it did in the past.
All right.
Okay, focus. Woo,
focus.
Woo.
So, I get, what was the other one? Layout, right?
Yes.
So digitally, your layout's more fluid.
Yep.
Right? It can kind of flow based on it's responsive, where sadly it's fixed in print.
Yep.
Something you got to deal with, right? There's no responsive brochure, regardless what people ask for, right?
Do I have to do an 8.5 by 11? I really envision a bigger, no, it's not going to work.
But to that, to that note though, right? Big thing to take in consideration is that digital, you can change on the fly.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's social media or something, where print, you're committed, man.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? And with the pace of how fast things go, things are outdated before they even hit the market sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And this is the beauty of the digital format, right? That's so, you can change that in a day.
Literally.
If you got a brochure and you got to add something to it.
Minutes,
totally. Yeah, totally. Depending on how fast you are. But if you got a brochure, page 70, well, we don't make this product anymore.
Redo the whole,
then the whole
run, right?
McGill is going to
dollars all over again.
And that's going to take weeks to do, right?
Yeah, right. Not to mention, if you caught a mistake after print, you're screwed. You're living with that mistake, right?
Exactly.
And that happens a lot too.
That's not good.
And another thing, the most important thing that I think people don't realize is the resolution difference between digital and print.
Right.
Okay. So this is huge.
Yep.
Okay. And people don't realize. So obviously they don't, especially customers don't, right? But anything digital on screen, phones, it's all based on 72 dots per inch DPI, right? It's small. It doesn't have to be that high resolution. Nope. Maxing it out does nothing but just increase your file size.
Yep.
But print has to be minimum 300 DPI to get that nice crisp.
Exactly.
Okay, there's variances if you're printing large format, that's different. There's a couple, but magazine print or something, we're talking 300 DPI. So you can't just grab something off the internet, drop it into and expect it to print at the same quality that you're viewing it on screen.
It's not going to work.
How many times is that? Do you see shit that just looks, dude, big sign of amateur.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Dude.
Or a big sign of a boss really wants this. I did a freelance thing, and it was like a 5 by, 7 kind of thing. It's like, can we make this into a poster? And I'm like, no, no, we can't. And I'd argued with him. And it's like, it's not going to work in a poster.
You almost have to print it and show it
That's
to him.
exactly
And
it.
then he's like, why does that picture look like pixelated? And why does it look like it's on Minecraft? Right? Like,
this looks terrible. I told you.
Kidding, right? Yeah, people don't get that.
Some people just don't get that concept.
And the resolution thing is huge, right? So, that's where when customers are like, well, can you just use this? And they give you an image from the internet. Or it's like, I need your logo. And they'll be like, here you go. And they drop it into a Word document and send it to you. Not going to work. Let me just trace that in Illustrator for you. Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole different podcast for that kind of.
Jeez, right? All right. So, I mean, there's some big differences. All right. So, with that being said, all right, we're going to play a little game.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to test you out here.
What?
So, I put some questions here. I'm going to read off to you. Shit. Okay. And this is Spot the difference.
All
right?
Spot.
Like that? Spot?
That's, I like it.
Alright.
That's funny.
Bad pun. But, okay, so I've got written down here RGB,
Yeah.
CMYK, spot or hex.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Alright.
your job is to figure out what it is. Okay?
Oh,
So-
the usage.
The usage. Okay, so let's start off with an easy one. You've got to print a brochure, and you need 10,000 copies. What format is it in, Sean?
10,000. Somebody cue the Jeopardy music.
10,000 copies.
10,000
So it
copies?
means it's going on offset.
It's going on offset printing. You're going to go CMYK.
Bing, 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 bing. All right, that was an easy one. All right.
Okay, yes.
How
That's,
about
that's good.
a social post on Instagram?
A social post on Instagram?
RGB or CMYK, spot or hex?
Oh, you're going to go with RGB on that one.
RGB.
Yes.
Okay, but here's a curveball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What if it's a social post about a book that's printed?
A social post about a book that's... Wait a minute. Hold on. It's going on the internet, but it's about... Oh, you tricked me with the book.
It's a
Oh,
book.
that's good.
It's a book, Sean.
RGB. That's good. That's good.
Smarter than
I had to
you
think
are.
about that. Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, what the... What? Wait, what?
Okay, a
That's
website
good.
button color. Mm-hmm. So again, we're talking website button color. If you had to choose a format,
Okay. I would go now, and I don't know whether this is right because, like I said, I'm not 100% sure on exactly what a hex is.
Yep.
But I would use the hex number for a button.
You are correct,
Oh,
sir. Yep.
score.
So the
It's
hex
so much
is the
easier
coded
then.
version
Yes.
of the RGB
Of
values.
whatever
which would
that
be-
value is.
So it's just an easier way instead
It's-
of... Okay, in all fairness, I think you can code RGB and the values you can.
Right.
But a hex is the equivalent. It's easier. It's
Yes.
one line. It's like 8 digit number. That's
Yes.
it, right? So, okay, good. Good on
Okay,
you.
that's good because I was like, doing the typing out the three numbers for RGB, and it's like, and then the hex number would come down the
We
bottom.
used
like,
to do that.
Yeah, and it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, I'm just gonna go
With the hex.
Yeah, with the hex because
And it is an easy reference. There's
Yeah,
no doubt, right?
exactly.
It's an easy reference.
and there's not, and that's not a bad thing.
No, not at
Okay,
all.
good.
It's totally, it's
Okay.
the norm now.
Yes.
So hex has kind of come up and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like that's
In that sense,
that's
it's
really a
pretty cool.
handy.
Really makes things a lot quicker.
Yes.
All right. What
Okay.
about screen printing, like a T-shirt, like that awesome "We Speak Human" T-shirt that you're wearing?
Look at this. All right, very nice. Screen printing, I think, would be a spot color.
Screen printing is spot.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
So there is. Okay. So yes.
Yes.
Screen printing is generally spot colors layered on top.
Right.
Now I believe that there is now CMYK screen printing. So this is T-shirt printing, right?
Oh.
But the question was, screen
Yeah.
printing, right? So
Right.
I know that they got that technology right now, but you're right. For the most part, T-shirts, spot colors.
So how would that work? Not to get off on a tangent, but
Yeah, well, okay. Number one, though, there's the iron-on stuff. That's a
Oh,
different process
right, that
altogether, right?
different,
That
yes.
heat transfer is
Yeah.
totally different,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
sense. But from what I saw, it literally looked like a 3D printer that was going back and forth, right? So
shit.
yeah. Now I'm sure that they probably have a layered version that you can do as well. But the one technology that we were into, it was pretty cool.
that's awesome.
It is cool, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. Okay. Here's one.
Okay.
Package design.
Package design. That would be
Package in a store.
package in a store. You're going with CMYK on that.
All right. That's an easy one. Fine. Okay.
Whew.
Embroidery.
Oh shit. Mm-hmm. Oh shit. Mm-hmm. Embroidery. It's
So somebody's like, I want my logo
I want it.
embroidered on a jacket.
yes. I'm gonna say RGB on that one.
Well, that's kind of a trick question because it's really not either RGB
It's-
or CMYK, right? You have to match those embroidery inks, all those threads with a Pantone or something. But so it's more
Really?
closer to a spot color
Really?
because they try to match up their threads to spot colors.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Because again, if I give them a hex color,
Yeah.
my monitor might look different than their monitor. So my red might be vibrant, their red might be muted because it's an old shitty ass monitor, right? They don't go by print because that doesn't make a difference to them. So so that's why they will generally ask for a Pantone.
Interesting.
right? Yeah.
So Pantone. So every color will be Pantone.
Well, close to Pantone
close to-
again,
as
right?
what you
Because
can-
they are
yeah.
trying to match their thread
Right.
to something that they can relate to, which in general for them,
Yeah.
they've often asked for a Pantone. What Pantone is it? Now, whether or not they look for it on the online and try to match the threads online or something,
Yeah,
I don't know.
It is.
But,
That's on their end.
that's
right?
on their end, right? Okay,
That's
what about
good to know. That's
what about vinyl stickers?
vinyl stickers. Holy shit! Vinyl stickers would be CMYK.
CMYK and wait, vinyl. Oh, you know what? I think I kind of fucked this one. Because
Was that a trap?
Vinyl,
It's a trap.
Vinyl. Vinyl is the same as thread, right? They're trying to match hardcore vinyl, like our awesome Z Factor stickers, to
Yes.
colors. But you know what? You're right. A vinyl sticker, like something that's like printed like from Sticker Mule or something.
Right.
That's a different process
That's a
altogether.
different
That'd be CMYK. So, all right, Sean, you've got
Okay.
this. You've got
So
this.
wait,
All right,
so
you're pretty
like,
smart, you're pretty smart.
so our stickers would be technically like a spot color then.
100%, because we have pure single color vinyl stickers, right? Which are kind of cool. But, you know, Sticker Mule or the stickers that are on the back of my laptop.
Yes.
Dude, that's all full color.
That's all full color.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, interesting. But like, if you want to get a good one, a real one, then you would go with the spot color. So
Boom.
that's two.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah.
So I get a half a point?
Kind of work. All right. No, that was my bad. Cool. Yeah. You know what? It's crazy how, you know, like people actually match up these colors and use them everywhere. People take it for granted.
Yeah,
Honestly.
totally,
And it's
totally.
so,
It's very
it's so
difficult.
easy to get trapped into this thing.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, so
Okay.
so ultimately there are some like hardcore do's and don'ts, you know, for the file formats. Really,
Yep.
like I mean, whether we're print, whether we're digital, we just honestly it comes down to we got to remember like CMYK don'ts, right? Don't use CMYK for anything digital formats.
Yep.
So Max will pick that shit up, right? Like if somebody actually sends me a CMYK JPEG, a Mac will display that, but often if it goes to a PC, it won't recognize it. And customers get confused.
Oh,
it's
really?
just blank. Yeah, because it doesn't, right? Because JPEGs aren't meant CMYK file format, right? Because you can in Photoshop save a CMYK file as a JPEG.
Yeah.
But you transfer that out, it's not going to work.
not gonna work.
No, because that's not what it's meant to be, right?
Right.
A JPEG is an RGB file.
Is an RGB file.
So you know you've got certain file formats. You have to, and again, RGB
Mm-hmm.
should never be used if you're sending anything to print.
Yeah.
Right. And this is why our printer came in so freaking handy because that thing,
Yeah.
good old Rico, right?
Rico.
We could do color proofs. You know, we could
Yes.
experiment with colors and match to you know, so a customer makes a mistake.
Yep.
You know, we're trying to fix. So we're printing out all these proofs, and we're using their RGB shit.
Mm-hmm.
Rico saved the day.
Rico saved the day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
poor,
now
you
all the
know,
pressure's on
Salute to Rico.
Rico.
He was a good man.
Poor Rico.
Yes. Okay. So that totally makes sense. So stupid question.
No.
And I believe I've done this, but if you have an RGB printed to Rico,
Yeah.
it would convert it.
So and okay,
How would that
so-
work?
No, that's brilliant. That's true.
Oh,
That
okay.
absolutely happens. So obviously, you send it to Rico or any other laser printer, or even if you send it to a press, right?
Yep.
They will put it through something called pre-flight, and they will take your RGB file
Right.
and convert it to CMYK. But you have no idea what the hell those colors are going to turn
Mm.
out. Okay. It's not like your blue is going to turn into pink.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But if you're looking for color accuracy,
Yeah.
you're basically at their whim. And then again, if you need to always ask for color proof.
Yeah.
Always. Dude, we had a situation where a customer, they went online, okay, and they asked for like 1,000 copies of a package that we created, right? They sent something via, you know, like what we created digitally to another, and they didn't get approved. Okay. So it came back looking like ass.
Oh, geez.
Right? It completely, because again, they
Oh,
changed
no.
the colors.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Yeah.
again, the whole process here, they changed up the colors to match their corporate ID, this, that. They sent it out. They paid $3,000 for it. It got delivered to them. Ass. Total ass. Right? And again, so these online services are great
yeah.
if you have an idea of what you're doing.
Right.
So honestly, it's nothing to invest in a shitty ass little printer that you
Yeah.
can keep. I mean, they're a couple $100.
Yeah.
Not even. I think you can see printers for like, they give them away now, right? Because they want you to get on that ink.
Yeah.
But that ink is the good stuff.
I gotta have the ink.
But it's true. So I'd recommend always color proofing, especially if you're using anything online.
Yes.
Like, oh,
but
dude.
you remember back in the day, like I remember going to the printer you'd have to sign off on the proofs and stuff like that, right? Like this.
Well, see, if you read the fine print on all of the online places, they will say that they will only print based on what they consider is a pleasing color. Okay, pleasing color
is not exact.
No. You know what? When something hit press one day, even the funny thing is, if you were not pressed on the day something's getting printed, even then, some days people are running the press hot, so things would turn out a little bit more warm. Sometimes they're running them cold. It depends on the press guy, right?
That's right.
So again,
exactly.
without that proof, you're basically a slave to whatever that they give you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And that's where like this whole the print world, that was a really tricky thing. So
it was.
However,
if
you asked for a dye sub and they gave you that print, it was their job to match that. So then it doesn't matter what they considered pleasing color.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Because you could be like, nope, send it back.
Totally true,
make
right?
sure it. It's a interesting kind of old-timey. It's a long process.
It is a
too,
long
right?
process, but it is coming back because now laser and digital printing is like great right now, right? Like, and it's handy, and you can now do short run stuff with the quality of bigger stuff, right? At a better cost than what lasers were in the old day, which is good because that's a little bit more. I don't want to say responsive, but you don't have to print 10,000 copies anymore, right? Now you can print 100 copies
exactly.
for a trade show.
Got a trade show coming up?
Oh, you know what?
I need 100 copies of
this
these.
works out better. We want this call to action.
Exactly.
We want this piece. So that's
Get
the
some
cool
really
thing.
nice stock. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it is worthwhile for everybody to get proofs. Get those damn proofs, right? And again, recommend them to your customers by all means, because shit, you do that, you're only going to look like a pro.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and again,
totally.
this is all about like helping everybody get to a better place. Right. So tell them that you want to, bring in printer proofs. You want them to approve the colors to match that. Give them something to go forward to.
Yeah.
It's not going to make you look like a boss.
Yeah.
Right. Like seriously.
Yes.
So again, file formats. So let's go back to this file formats thing. All right. So just before we get to, I forget because I want to point these out. So if you are going to be saving something for RGB, okay, in specific, it's a digital file. It's going to be digital, whatever, right? Best file formats to support RGB colors, right? JPEGs, right? PNGs, which support. And the nice thing about PNGs is that's pretty much the only way to get a good transparency. Right?
Yes.
You get a good whether they wanted the logo. Yeah, GIFs can do it fine. I get it. But GIFs are a pain in the ass. They use a different color code system. I don't even. It's a mess. Stick with PNGs.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Because they also offer the anti-aliasing, which means you can get better shadows, softer edges. PNGs are good for that. They're kind of like my go-to now for RGB. Anything RGB, right?
Yeah, exactly.
PSD, of course, saving it as a Photoshop file is safe. And of course, GIFs, right? But I don't even know anybody who does a GIF anymore. Unless you do an animated GIF, I don't know.
And I can't recall anyone who's asked for a GIF.
I know. It happened.
Does it?
Dude.
Come on.
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Are you
and
serious?
obviously, she didn't know what the hell she was talking about because we were talking about animation, full banner animation, like to kind of show this awesome experience. She's like, in my experience, GIFs work really well for this. I'm like, you want to do like a 30-second, 15-second GIF? Good luck with that. And wait, it was like full motion. I was just like,
what? Really?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Okay, everybody's got their thing, I guess. But if you're doing CMYK, right? If you're saving something and you need to keep those color codes, right? To keep it like a pure CMYK, right? Obviously, we've got what do we got? We got PDFs. AI files. EPS files.
Oh, EPS.
Right? EPS.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I know, right? And you want even more gold? TIFFs.
Oh,
does anybody even
TIFF.
do a TIFF anymore?
Oh, I love the TIFF back then. You meant business when you save something as a TIFF, right?
So true. You're right.
That was like the
right. Like you get a TIFF and you're like, like you almost took a step back. You're like, is that a layered TIFF?
Yeah.
Is that? I've never seen one of those before. Yeah, we all had the ability to make them. I don't know why it was such a big deal.
Interesting. Forgot all about that.
Yeah. So now,
can you quick question for you?
Bum, bum, bum.
What does a TIFF stand for? What is the acronym for that?
I don't even know, dude.
Tagged image file format.
No.
Yes.
Good for you. Wow.
I don't know how I know.
I was gonna say, how do you know that? Like, you don't even know what you had for lunch a few hours ago. Half the time you forget your damn pants when you come
right.
to work.
It's like, I don't have my pants on. That's so
Okay,
true.
okay.
I know.
It's only happened once, everybody.
Yes.
So
But still, I mean,
it keeps
geez.
coming back.
Oh God!
Oh,
Oh,
God,
that's too
great.
funny. That's too funny. Oh my God! Yeah, I don't know how I know that. It's just kind of one of those stupid things that you know.
Hey, good for
I probably forgot how to drive now because I
Jeez.
remember that.
Yeah.
But
So,
it pushes something else out of the brain.
But you're right, though. You know, I don't remember the last time we've used a TIFF. Sadly.
No,
but it is a
exactly.
good piece of nostalgia.
Exactly.
I wish we could TIFF an NFT or something. NFT at TIFF, make it work a shitload of money. That'd be cool. Jeez. All right. So when we get a CMYK, okay, we got one important thing to cover is if in fact you do get something CMYK, right?
Yeah.
And you got to figure out how to get that damn CMYK to convert to an equivalent RGB, right?
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Well, I seem to recall one of our major clients, you and I spending an inordinate amount of time in the Pantone book.
So yes.
Trying to and I tried but it's just it's admittedly not one of my best skill sets.
You know what though? It is
hard.
tricky.
It's a tough
So
gig.
if you have to convert something, right? So there is a CMYK to Pantone converter,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That actually helps, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Like I mean, I think
Like in Illustrator or in the book?
No,
are you
right
talking
here,
about?
like-
Okay.
check out this bad boy. Look
Yes.
At that.
Look at the
solid.
How long have you had that?
right?
Dude,
Yeah,
dude.
This thing. This is like Rico. I can't let this go. It looks like hell.
No,
But man, it's been
that's
a
what it's
war
so-
and back,
Yeah.
right? And it's just got all the beautiful colors there,
That's
right?
awesome.
But I mean, again, the big thing is you match that RGB, right, as close as you can to the left side, which is a Pantone,
Yeah.
right, and then it gives you the equivalent to the print version on the right. So if it's a hacks or something like that, you can actually literally go through this and find out what the print values are. That's as close as possible to that color. So it's never going to be accurate.
Yes.
because
No,
unfortunately-
you're never going to match it.
no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But at least you have something that if the printer follows, if you actually assign those values in Illustrator or in Photoshop or something, right? Create something of those values.
Yep.
It'll print like that.
Yeah.
And it'll print like that 100% of the time.
Yep.
If
Yes.
the printer does their job.
If the printer is
If the
worth
printer
the salt,
does their
yes,
job.
and
Yeah.
you're going to source a good printer, right? This is back in the old days too. I would like to add that a good printer was like your right arm. You know what I mean? Like you had to have a guy who was totally reputable,
Absolutely.
and like
Oh, they were like legends.
they were,
The
they
press
were
guys.
they were
the good ones.
Yes,
they were rock stars.
They were. They really were.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's kind of a lost.
It is kind of a lost art.
You know what I
sadly,
mean? Like,
right?
yeah, it's kind of sad because that was a big deal back then.
It totally was a big deal,
Yeah.
right? And I
Yeah.
mean, right now, maybe people are thinking like that about, I don't know, web designers,
This is-
you
yeah.
know, web developers
Yep.
and stuff like that. It's kind of cool, but
Yeah.
man, it was a craft. It totally was.
It
right?
was.
They
It
could
really
change
was.
something just by even by just changing the order that colors were layered in. You know,
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
CMYK,
Make
they'd
a
go
huge difference.
MCYK, and it would change the out. It was crazy.
Totally.
Some of the cool stuff that we were
Totally.
privy to
I
back.
know.
Yeah, I know. Some of the new designers don't have that. It sounds like a pain in the ass. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's really cool shit.
It
to
really
see how
is.
it happened,
and
right?
and I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of like vinyl records and stuff like that would kind of make
Comes
a
back
comeback.
as being
you know what I
trendy.
mean? Yeah, exactly. So be aware for this next trend. It's,
Yeah, right.
CMYK printing.
So, on a flip note, though, right? Like, if you have created something in RGB,
Yeah.
right, or you were privy to it, and you don't have the color, you don't have an awesome Pantone selector to use, right? I think so you see it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sharing that with anybody. There are some online places. So there's this one place called Color. It was an app I found, colorbook.io.
Oh.
Okay, so colorbook.io, and what it does is it converts a hex color to what in its vast library is the closest CMYK equivalent.
So somebody else has done the homework.
Somebody else has done the homework, right? Now again, you have to remember it's still not going to be 100% because RGB hex colors, they're backlit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep,
There's
yeah.
going to be a lot more vibrancy there that you'll get on print.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it'll get you in that range.
Yeah.
So at least, your customer's logo won't be bastardized. And
Yes.
sadly, you might, think it's not a big deal, but damn, dude, like We've got a couple customers. They got vibrant colors online. It's just like you can't replicate that unless they're willing to pay through the teeth for that shit, right?
Exactly.
So it's cool. So this
Exactly.
site, so the app was cool. It's colorbook.it is free, but it also had color schemes, which was nice.
Ooh.
Right? Like it would batch together. You know, is this your company color?
Then
Look
you
at
have
these variations and go with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
right?
awesome.
And you could like. You know, it would generate all these like color matching, and it was good for that. Oh, in that sense, it was really cool.
That's
yeah.
great. That is a handy tool to have.
Yeah, you know what?
Colorbook.io, did you say?
Colorbook.io, and it even I think it even had like this funny mock website that you could like when you change the colors, it changed them on the web. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. It was worth checking out.
Oh,
So if anybody's in a jam and they need that, like literally go visit this. I'm never not making a penny from it. You know, like go visit. But honestly, it was a cool tool.
Yeah,
right.
that's
We've
great.
got the researches. Not everybody does.
Yeah.
but this site made that pretty easy. It was pretty damn cool, right?
I love a good tool, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Sean, stop being a tool.
I love tools.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
This is always dirty with us.
It always goes there. Jeez.
What the hell's wrong with us?
That's
funny.
And honestly, this is this is a big thing. This is something totally cool. But the opportunity for our fellow awesome graphic designers that we want to keep in business for a long time.
Yes.
Keep you guys sounding professionals, right?
Yep.
Make sure you talk to your customer about the differences, right? And what they need to consider.
Yeah.
First off, right? Just so if a customer comes to you, just you go beeline to those. How are you going to use this? Are you going to need a print version? Because if you need a print version, we have to supply you with this color version versus
our job.
just something online, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden, you've elevated your status, right? You're
Totally.
worth extra. So
Yeah,
now,
yeah, exactly.
right?
Because it's like,
just by
hey,
that.
these guys have gone the extra distance.
They know.
Now I know I can print in CMYK, and I'm going to get close to what my print, what my
and
logo looks
honestly,
like.
and if that's the case, if you ask the customer, and it's just like fine, if it's a restaurant or if it's something small, but again, if somebody's going to be printing, has any print component, right? It's your job to actually figure out what those color equivalents are going to be.
Yeah.
That's best represents their brand.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
This is our job, and you do it right, you're just going to look like that much more of a professional,
Yeah,
which
that's
means
right.
you're going to be able to charge that much more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, provide them.
there you go.
Provide
Yeah.
them. Like you deliver that logo, you deliver that brand. You now also deliver the RGB, the CMYK
The
equivalent,
hex code,
right?
yeah.
The hex code.
Damn.
If you can, you do the spot color on that too, right? You do the Pantone, right? And then you just bill through the teeth for that stuff because you just protected their brand across all the fucking mediums.
Because that's exactly it. Because eventually, this is going to happen. This is I don't know. I don't think we've had any client that hasn't had any kind of printed material.
Yeah, you're right.
Can you think of that? Can you think of one?
You know what? We don't. Even our most high-tech customers,
Exactly, has
right?
always
have. But okay, in all fairness, and we'll preface everybody, we are in the B2B space.
That's true.
So that is okay. So it might be a little different.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, maybe something that's purely. No, you know what? I can't even say somebody. Even a company like Calendly, which we totally, like ram their logo, right?
Boy, did we ever.
Boy, did we ram that logo. But, I mean, even Calendly, as digital as they are, and it's a digital product, and they're like, oh, no, we're all digital. They were running billboards.
Yes, that's
so
right.
if their logo
So
wasn't looking like it, all of a sudden their brand is just tarnished right off the bat, right?
Exactly. So you know they've probably done their homework, and they've got their
maybe.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Pretty vibrant, those blues, let me tell you. Mind you, their logo also looked like a uterus, so I can't necessarily say. The ovulation app. Calendly. Book off time to have sex.
Oh my God! Is it the 28th already?
Oh, schedule. Put it on everybody's calendar. Oh my God, that's horrible. It's so true, though.
Oh, just have a look at the logo. Oh my God.
Or better yet, view listen to our podcast.
Listen to our pod. There's the better plug.
Calendly, logo review. Yes. But it's true though.
Yes.
You know what?
Yeah.
Like our goal, of course, is to make everybody's life better. Get over those frustrated parts and to remind designers that there's more than just about making things look good, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
in the digital space, past that.
absolutely, right? So by all means, offer up all those color codes, right? Like stand proud, like be an expert. Be like, these are the color codes that you need to consider, right? Otherwise, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna, you're gonna Fiverr it, or you're gonna 99 designs it and just like charge for just a basic digital logo, right? You're screwing yourself, you're screwing the customer, like all across the board. It's not a good experience.
Yeah, it's not.
So literally deliver all levels of that, right?
Yeah, it's good, and it's good practice, I think.
Oh, dude,
you know what I mean?
totally
Like,
right.
I'm not a big fan of it, but it's necessary.
Absolutely, it's
But
necessary.
I like that kind of challenge, though. Too.
Absolutely,
like it's
I
kind of
agree.
interesting to come up with those color matches. But
yeah,
do it. Do your homework.
do it.
Do it.
Cool, bud.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we're good. I'm almost out of bourbon here.
Yeah, we're
You finished
almost
yours
done.
off.
Yeah,
so.
I polished mine off, so that's it's a good podcast. Actually, the second drink I don't normally go into the next one, but today
it was
it seemed to be going really well. Yeah, I had a test, so I was a little nervous. I drank a little more.
Made you feel a little bit more calm. Oh, dudes, everybody, you know, by all means, I hope you guys all found something out of this podcast you liked. I hope you were able to find some sort of like little piece of gold nugget that's going to help you guys in your careers and even get you guys a little bit more money in those next jobs, right? Yes. By all means, share us with your friends, share us on social, like become part of the crew. We try hard to respond to everybody on Instagram who DMs us and lets us know what they're thinking, what they want us to cover. And by all means, if follow us, share us, Spotify, Apple Podcast. My God, I'm just rambling.
No, you're doing well. You're doing great.
Really?
Man. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm going there right after this.
Yes. Otherwise, everybody, by all means, we love you and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes.
My name's Massimo.
And my name's Sean.
Stay creative
and stay angry.
Peace, yo.